Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Hope on Commonwealth Day, on of course on ADEX platform session as well. Today, I would like to introduce to you to the moderator of this session. Her name is none other than Amy Dangan, and she is of course KK 12 FM radio announcer and also a social media influencer, and also a part of Blue Hope right now. Just a brief bio on who's Amy. Amy Dangan is actually born on March 12, 1985. Is a Sabahan radio presenter, TV show host, voice and acting talent, and a social media influencer with over 25,000 followers, local and also regional. She is none other than the face behind the viral Auntie Patrin videos. Prior to radio, Amy was also a journalist with a cumulative experience of 7 years reporting for a local newspaper, with an interest in sparking conversations surrounding social and environmental issues, which she continues to advocate for through her current platform. Herewith, to launch off and start off this session called The Story of Blu Hope, Amy Dangan, over to you.
Thank you, Nora. It's nice to meet you again. And hello, everyone. Nora gave a really good introduction of myself there. And she mentioned social and environmental issues. So I hope that also explains why I am part of Blue Hope now and the event today. So today is Commonwealth Day 2021. And I still feel awkward saying 2021 because like, wait, where did 2020 go? But yeah, it's the year 2021 and it's still considered earlier part of the year. So it's a good topic, issue to enlighten ourselves with, to be more aware about, talking about the environment. And so I'm, yes, again, part of Blue Hope now, and I'm honored to be here, honored to be part of Blue Hope. But of course, there are people who would better explain what Blue Hope is, right? And for me personally, I am all for advocating for more awareness towards the impact of our living on our environment, which I feel has been overlooked for many decades until recently. So I come from the same point of view as Blue Hope when it comes to why we are here today, talking about what we are going to talk about. But without any further ado, let me just introduce once again our panelists for this slot of today's Commonwealth Day Environmental Webinar 2021. We have we have Alison Collingridge, Head of Marketing from British High Commission in Kuala Lumpur. Hello, Alison. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Amy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I heard from Simon that you are a key person in the existence of Blue Hope. But yeah, we'll talk about that throughout for about an hour from starting now. But let's also introduce the founders and co-founder of Blue Hope, Simon Christopher and Monica Chin. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Amy. Thanks for being here with us. Hello, everyone. I'm feeling very privileged to be here. The only guy sat here around with three ocean queens on International Women's Day. So, feeling very privileged. We had a last session with Charles, and there was the balance was slightly skewed because the chairman of the Commonwealth Society couldn't be with us. So I reassured him that we were balancing up with this session, so that's wonderful. Yes, I think that Blue Hope has been going for over a year. Alison has been key. She has been the rock from Kuala Lumpur, who's been there from day one. She's believed when other people haven't listened. I'm a bit of an evangelist. can get a little bit over the top, but OCD about ocean myself. It's all about blue, blue, blue. But I don't really take no for an answer because the time is now and we really have no time left. We every day counts, every hour counts, every second counts, and it really is as simple as that. It involves everyone. So, but Alison has been incredibly supportive. So it's wonderful to have you here, Alison, and obviously Monica is another rock. She is our ocean queen from Sabah. She is she has been talking, well, diving and witnessing and loving the ocean ever since she was a kid when her father was taking her out to see dugongs and going out on the boat fishing. But I'll let her tell that story.
Yeah.
But it's certainly there's no way that I could have done anything close to what we are achieving with Blue Hope now without the wonderful support from these wonderful queens, ocean queens, or shall we say? And it really is a group effort. It doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your color. We all need to work together, and that is the message that we need to start Ocean Decade with, the UNESCO Ocean Decade. We have 10 years to start listening and appreciating and loving ocean, and it starts now. So from Blue Hope's perspective, today is the first important day because we're going live. And I've just heard from our web team that we are about to top 1 million viewers, 1 million reaches on this first day. So it's incredibly exciting. We'll be topping 1 million, having reached 500,000 on our previous days last year. Alison, we're literally about to, probably during this webinar or the next webinar, we're going to tip over 1 million viewers, which is very meaningful, obviously. So with that said, I think it would be worth to just pass over to Monica briefly, but quite quickly. I think if we're going to, this is historical, it'd be good to go back to Alison and hear her perspective about how this all started. But Monica, just say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please do.
hi. Yeah, thank you, Simon. I just can't wait to listen more from Alison because we haven't met in person, so only virtually. And I really hope to hear more and more from Alison, how the Blue Hope started. And I know Simon has talk about her a lot, that she's behind. She's been so supportive about our movement, our campaign, anything about Blue Hope. So yeah, before we hear from Alison, I just would like to short brief about myself and um, why make me so into enthusiasm, and why make me so committed to Blue Hope, and to as well as to our ocean and our community in Sabah. Well, like we have already said in the previous session, I born and bred and grew up in Borneo. I've been diving for 23 years. I've seen the most beautiful underwater world that I'm sure not every diver have seen it. I swimming with dugong, the mother and the babies, watching them for about, I don't know, probably a hour two, feeding seagrass at one of the island behind my backyard, which is Mantanani Island, and now it's gone. Now it's full of trash underwater. Wherever you dive around that island is full of garbage, plastic bottle all over. So, and then like Simon said, when I was kids, I think 5, 6 years old, my father, we have my father, my mom, and my parents love ocean. We always spend our weekend at the open ocean, somewhere with the blue. So my father always show us, okay, this is, let's have just stay here. We watch the dolphin. The dolphin will pass by any moment. So I have
Lucky
that
you.
kind of, yeah, I have that kind of experience which our childrens now can't see it anymore.
Mhm.
And that place, that place now, which is also in my hometown, is become a very touristic area, and just beside the Penn Borneo Highway as well, and it's gone. I've never seen, I never heard about my friends they've seen about the dolphin quite some
Yeah.
times.
It's been
since
quite
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
rare.
So I've been also doing a lot of I've been championing about stirring the awareness and education in our community since 2013. I think enough information and enough enough experience to go back to our community with a strong support Blue Hope platform. I think this time we're gonna make it happen, and I know everyone in this together. Yeah, I just can't wait to go out there and do the work. Action. Yeah. So back
Yeah,
to you, Amy.
which you have been doing for the past many years that I've known you. I think we first met pun under environmental purposes juga. I think
Yeah.
that was about 4 years ago. So, and you've been doing it for many more years. So all of the people that we have here on the panel today are people who have been dedicating a huge part of your life, carrying about a huge part of your consciousness to care for our sea. And I hope that this kind of topic will be relevant. A lot of people out there will be able to find this kind of topic relevant because it's part of our ecosystem. The sea is a part of our ecosystem, even though we can't see what's going on underneath. And I think
This
that's
is
part
our
of,
home.
yeah, I think that's part of the contributing factor as to why there's a huge ignorance still about what goes on under the sea. So, but I'm not going to speak much. There's another person that we can hear from who has a much bigger impact on the environment, Sir David Attenborough. And I'm going to let Simon introduce the video that we are going to view.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Amy. In fact, just before we play that video, I'd just like to hear from Alison because
Yes.
I think we'd just like to hear a bit about kind of the perspective from your, when we first met, early last year, and then we'll pass to the legendary Sir David, who can't, no one says it better than Sir David. Alison, just briefly.
Thank you, Simon. So Simon and I first met in the run-up to the British High Commission co-hosting the Malaysian premiere of Blue Planet 2. And that was back in September 2019. Simon and I worked together to help secure this amazing video message from Sir David Attenborough. What I would say is that the British High Commission, the UK government, we're very concerned about plastic pollution. The UK co-leads the Commonwealth Clean Ocean Alliance Action Group with Vanuatu. And this all came about when the British High Commission became aware that there was illegal plastic coming into Malaysia. So we worked very hard with the Ministry of Environment and our ministry to return those containers of plastic, which we did. And then we realized that we needed to do more work to try and reduce the amount of plastic pollution. And Simon's introduced me to some amazing people, including Joe Ruxton, who we're going to see in a video shortly as well. And I think it's fair to say that Blue Hope has been kind of supercharged because we had a positive coming out of this global pandemic is that we've taken the campaign digitally with the support of Asia Dive Expo to reach far bigger audiences than we would have done with physical events. And this has been spearheaded with the powerful words from Sir David Attenborough. So let's hear this amazing video. Thank you.
Thanks, Alison.
Thanks, Alison.
Alphonse, if you could cue the first video, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is David Attenborough and I'm a naturalist and a natural history filmmaker. Over the last 65 years, I've been very privileged to travel the world and see every environment from the ocean to the jungle. We're now facing a range of extremely challenging environmental problems. But one of the most pressing issues of our times is plastic pollution. While plastic now affects the entire planet, it's our oceans that bear the full brunt of plastic pollution. What's so tragic about plastic pollution is that it is so totally unnecessary. The plastic in our oceans should never have found its way there in the first place. And yet, a staggering 8 million tons of plastic now ends up in our oceans every year, causing untold harm to marine wildlife. Blue Planet 2's crew saw plastic everywhere they filmed, but this catastrophic damage to our oceans is reversible, and nature can recover if we give it a chance. While the actions of just one of us, you, may seem to be so very small with really no effect at all, in fact, knowing there are hundreds of thousands of people all doing the same thing is starting to have a truly positive effect. Every single one of us now needs to think, and I mean really think, about how we use plastic. So, I strongly urge you all to treat plastic with care, because if it reaches the environment, it will stay there for a very long time, if not forever, and ultimately affect us all. Every one of us should be extremely proud of their natural heritage and passionate to protect and conserve it and ensure that it remains around for future generations. We all have a responsibility to care for our planet. The future of humanity, and indeed all life on Earth, now depends on us. Thank you very much, and good luck.
There you have it, the legendary Sir David Attenborough, which gives me an idea to also do one in our local accent. Maybe that can be one way we can reach out to so many people that needs to hear that message, especially in a language that they're more familiar with or they can relate to. Maybe that can also be a disclaimer as to why I might be mixing my language. I do that, Alison, even on my radio shows, even when I'm hosting, because I want to bridge, my aim is to bridge that gap that we have, especially put there because of difference in language. Can be overcome. But yeah, what an eye-opening message. And I really hope that by seeing that kind of video, that kind of messages, something can be stirred in people to want to start looking at the amount of plastic that we produce, waste, unrecyclable waste that we produce every day for the sake of convenience. That's why I'm passionate about these things, because I've been doing my part for at least since I met Monica 4 years ago. I think it's been 4 years strong eco-bricking, which really is a good thing to do because it really helps us be mindful of the amount of plastic that we produce. But yeah, tell us about that message and how it links to Commonwealth Day, which is the bigger title of our event today, right? 8th of March, Environment Webinar, Commonwealth Day. You had something similar, especially in last year, 2021. I mean, did you have anything organized, something similar like this in the year 2020? Was that before or after lockdown? Yeah, Alison, maybe.
So just before we all went into lockdown in Malaysia and across the world, the British High Commission were able to co-host with the Royal Malaysia Society of Malaysia Commonwealth Day 2020. And we continued to the theme of raising awareness and promoting the issues around plastic pollution. And we were able, as well as celebrating Commonwealth Day, to also have a number of speakers to talk about plastic pollution in Malaysia, and also in terms of there are opportunities to turn this around. So there was reason to hope as well. So Simon and Monica, if you're happy, maybe we could just show this short video that was taken this time last year at the Royal Commonwealth Society Clubhouse.
Of course, perfect. Over to you, Alphonse.
So tonight, as well as celebrating the Commonwealth, we're also showcasing some of the work in the Commonwealth to protect our environment and build a more sustainable world and future. Over the last year, the High Commission has worked very closely with the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change to protect the world's oceans and to stop plastic pollution.
Peer-reviewed journals have showed that if you are still consuming sea salt and aquatic life, you are probably consuming 5 grams of microplastics every week. To put it in context, it's about the size of a credit card. We are facing unprecedented loss of biodiversity, climate change, and of course now we've got this big problem with plastics. Together we'll define policies for the government, for the country and for everyone.
The issue of pollution, in particular plastic, and the other problem on global warming, also biodiversity loss, must be imbued among our younger generation.
Plastic was designed to defy nature. It was designed not to break down, and yet half of the plastic that we produce is designed for single use. You use it once and you throw it away, and nobody thinks where is away.
We believe that the shared common heritage can help us try and fix some of the world's issues, especially environmental, especially those that affect climate change. And Petra has been singularly focused on investing in and developing businesses that play a role in advancing humanity.
All plastics could be recycled back into virgin oils very quickly, very simply, very cost effectively. The challenge is there a political will? And is there a business will to make change? Because it's proven that it can happen.
And our view is that plastic's needed by society, but the real challenge is what we do with it afterwards. There are real solutions, and that can be in turning it right back into valuable products that society needs. We're in KL now, knowing that Malaysia has an issue not just of its own, but one that our technology could solve.
So that was the plastic pollution, British High Commission Plastic Pollution Day, Commonwealth Day 2020, yeah?
Yeah, so as I said, we celebrated Commonwealth Day last year, and we took the opportunity to promote Commonwealth Clean Ocean Alliance and highlight the issue around plastic pollution. So as explained, we then went into lockdown. The British High Commission had been planning to celebrate our Queen's birthday party in June, which is an annual celebration. And for the first time, because of the pandemic, the Queen's birthday parties were cancelled across the world. And that was when we took the opportunity to link up with Simon Christopher and his team to highlight and support World Oceans Day. So I'll pass over to Simon, where he can talk about how that opportunity came about.
Yeah, Simon.
Thank you, Alison. So, I mean, it was really, I think it's all about timing, right? And I had just I was in the process of bringing a British technology called Mura, introducing it to various locations and countries in Asia. So the timing was pretty amazing, because obviously China having closed its doors to everyone else's plastic in 2017, and then 1 or 2 years on, Malaysia starting to see the problems with YBO, the Minister of Mestec at the time, Charles, and the British High Commission. There was a BBC release about the amount of plastic that had been arriving from the UK, like a lot of other countries, into Malaysia. So all these things happened at the same time. And I was also introducing this British technology called Mura, who you heard about earlier there, which has a groundbreaking new large-scale solution that has a very low, almost negligible carbon footprint compared with a lot of other technologies, which are very taxing on the environment. So it was just an amazing kind of dovetail. All the sort of plastic ducks, if you like, were aligned, and having worked with Sir David before, brought Sir David in my previous role with Scuba Zoo, brought Sir David to Malaysia, to Sabah, and done a few projects. It meant it was a perfect opportunity to obviously reach out to Sir David and get his support, and he's been very supportive ever since. And in fact, we're about to start filming more with Sir David. So I mean, the power of such an incredible voice of 65 years is pretty unique, and together with her royal deepness, so that Dr. Sylvia Earle, who is to blue what Sir David essentially is to green, you have an incredibly powerful movement, because these are the experts. They've been seeing it, they've been documenting it, they've been talking about it, and the changes within those 5-6 decades have just been absolutely staggering and incredibly worrying. So that's how the whole thing really started, and then we got things going for World Ocean Day, which was the next beat, if you like, after each June. On the 8th of June, you have World Ocean Day. And so in the absence, because of COVID, and because the Queen's birthday was coming up, and because the Queen and all the embassies and high commissions wanted to obviously talk about something that wasn't a big celebration because of COVID. So we said, let's embrace the needs of the environment and bring have a coming together on World Ocean Day, and let's get all the big voices, the main voices, and bring everyone together. So that kick-started what turned into World Ocean Week, and we had obviously Sir David's voice, and we had Sylvia Earle dialing in live from San Francisco at about midnight, and we had Joe Ruxton joining us live, and we had Charles moderating the panel. We had Paul Rose, another amazing voice, all joining and talking about ocean. And that was a very special moment, and that really launched Blu Hope officially. And in fact, we have a video of that. We've cut a little video of those few voices next. So I think I've got this order play right. If we could press the next play on the next video, please, then you'll get to see what we did last year, last World Ocean Day. Thank you.
The two big problems facing the ocean are what we're putting into the ocean and what we're taking out of the ocean. A large percentage of the plastic debris, the waste, comes from fishing. They're ghost nets, they're long lines, they're old discarded fish traps. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of marine mammals, birds, turtles, as well as the fish that are unintentionally caught. I love the concept of Blu Hope and this initiative that is underway, because if you can't get people to really understand why they should care, how the ocean affects them with every breath they take and every drop of water they drink, why would they bother to take action? Or the tiny little pieces that plastic breaks up and becomes not just microplastics, but now even nanoplastics.
I think what you say about awareness is incredibly important, because the ocean is so vast. You know, how can we humans possibly damage it? I mean, there's a parallel there, isn't there, with climate change? Even in those days, nobody ever thought that the carbon we were pumping out was going to cause structural damage. And of course, there's a complex interaction, isn't there, between that climate change and the ocean, because the ocean becomes more acidified to higher carbon dioxide levels in there, and then that leads to coral bleaching.
It's great that you know those things. You're in a position of authority to do something about it. We need everyone to know those issues and why it matters back to us.
So, Joe, do you think that recycling is the answer to this question?
Not with plastic, I don't. Recycling, as far as plastic is concerned, is just downcycling. There's only so many times it can go through the system, even with the best system. So each time the plastic goes through, it loses properties and will end up as just hard black plastic that nobody wants.
Plastics break down and are engulfed by a whole host of things. Oh, and then there's the other piece of the chain. When you munch on an oyster and eat the whole animal, I wonder what the oyster's been eating. Or when you eat these little fish like a herring, wonder what the herring has been gobbling up.
And last year, we got to a point where plastics was finally recorded officially and legally as a persistent organic pollutant. You see, before it was just the chemical names and the chemical constituents. So there was lots of terrible chemicals that were registered, but plastics wasn't. But it was last June here in Geneva, which meant that we can now use Interpol and the global customs authorities to prevent and prosecute people who ship plastic around the world, theoretically for recycling, but ends up in an awful condition, mixed plastic, stuff that can't be recycled, and ends up getting dumped.
So what do you think about the idea of using waste to generate energy as a way of solving the plastic problem?
I think it depends on the process. A lot of people a lot of places around the world, they are doing this, but there are a lot of emissions that are associated with it. The one that I would have put the most hope behind is Mura technology, and we'll be hearing more about that later in this conference. But the idea that we can just put it all into a process and make fuel things up with it, with everything that's happening with climate issues at the moment, what concerns me is that people will continue to use plastic exponentially because they think, well, it's okay, we can use it for fuel, and that's not the answer.
I think if we can get this in the education system now through things like Blu Hope, we can then expect future generations to assume that people are going to display their values. So it would be, I've done this for humanities, frontline, not just sending money, but frontline stuff. I've spent my life doing this. As a kid, I volunteered for that. I display art and humanities and environmental work all over the place.
We were thinking about children working, having to do homeschooling, something that they could all do that would be a little bit of fun, and it's called Plastic Detectives. And what they do is they go around the house and look at the different types of plastic that are there. And it's interesting how much we use without actually thinking about it. So once it's been highlighted by the child, they will then be showing their brothers and sisters and parents, and it will become a talking point when they get back to school. That in itself is a huge eye-opener for those families to realize just how much they don't even think about. Comes through the system, they use it, it's in the bin, it's out the door.
Everybody join in, get involved, and let's change the world together. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Yeah, you know what? So, you know what, Amy, Alison, during this time, during the launch of World Ocean Days last year, I was actually watching the whole session. And I'm not part of a Blu Hope yet. I was not invited as a co-founder yet. I was watching because My idol, my lifetime idol is Dr. Sylvia Earle, and of course Sir David. And that's where I know about Joe Raxton, of course Paul Ross, well known in our dive community. He's an explorer. So that's this way I come to know how can I do this, how serious it can be. We can create it in Sabah. That's the first thing I was thinking during that session. But yeah, we'll tell you more story how I get engaged in Blue Hope. Back to you, Amy.
Yeah, Ngamla, because just now we forgot to ask you, how did you come into the picture? And that was a year ago, right? So it's been a year of, I know you spent the next couple of months of your life after watching that video to set up Blue Hope in Sabah and making the change start in Sabah, and to see that happen. Blue Hope have enlisted a lot of programs, right? Simon, yeah. Simon, Monica, a lot of programs under Blue Hope. Yeah,
I mean, I think the education and awareness is key. We can do that now. It's what we're doing today. Let's face it. As soon as you speak, that's what's really important to make the change. And what we need to do as a species, we need to make a cultural change and a spiritual change, which takes time. And so it's events like this, and it's films, and it needs to be sustained. You know, I remember 10, 20 years ago, we had a day for sharks or a day for turtles, and we come back the next year and do this. Every single day needs to be sustained. We need to be driving this 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, really. So Blue Hope is really a manifestation of that reality, that until we can change the way we live with plastics, rethink our relationship with plastics, and everyone's doing that, we cannot rest, and Blue Hope will not rest. And Blue Hope, one of the key things is Sir David. You know, he's sort of 94 years old now, and you have Sylvia Earle, who's sort of 84, 85. So part of the inspiration when Alison and I were kind of first talking was very much Blue Hope has to be passing the baton down to the younger generations.
Yes.
It's the kids which are going to make the difference, the future leaders. You know, I can talk to people and say, change away your plastic and stop doing this, but quite quickly it gets lost, you know. But we all listen to our children, and children have this amazing ability to tell it how it is, and we listen to our kids. So kids and youth are an incredibly important beat, and Blue Hope is a big youth movement brewing here now. And so that really spawned the next event, which was World Children's Day. But Jo Ruxton, having always been, she's been one of the pioneers who've been talking about plastic, and she made the film A Plastic Ocean, which is now on Netflix. Bringing Jo in early was really important, because the mantra in terms of how we rethink our relationship with plastics is so important. We can do that now. We can do that from today onwards. Everything else is going to take longer, but we have to, whilst we think about it, we try and tackle COVID, and we start to control the virus, and all these things, start winning that battle, we can each make a difference every single day with how we deal with plastic. And that's a really important thing. So education awareness is key, and obviously kids and education is key. With that said, I think, is there anything else you'd like to say, Alison, before we go to the next beat of this story?
Well, just to say that as well as education awareness, this requires a whole world effort, and it's not just the youth, it's businesses, it's government, it's leaders. And plastics is an example of a bigger problem in terms of climate change and what we've been doing to the environment, and what that is now, you know, the environment is retaliating. So the UK government are co-hosting the climate change conference at the end of this year in November, COP26. And the UK government are now looking at, you know, driving forward in a much quicker way the changes that need to happen to protect our planet. And we were very fortunate on World Oceans Day to have a video message from our UK Minister for the Pacific and the Environment, Lord Zac Goldsmith. And I think we've got a copy of that video to see now, Amy.
Okay. Let's watch the video.
Let's do the next video. Thank you.
I want to thank you for inviting me to speak to you on World Oceans Day as we launch the Blue Hope campaign. I hope that you and your families are safe and well. In these very difficult times, it is reassuring to see so much energy being focused on addressing the threats facing our global ocean. From individuals to businesses to governments, we need to keep up the pace. And the evidence is very clear. Marine ecosystems face huge pressures from human activity. 1/3 of marine mammals are threatened with extinction. Nearly 90% of the world's marine fish stocks are now fully exploited, overexploited, or depleted. Half of the world's coastal waters have been degraded. And when it comes to plastic, we face a stomach-churning challenge. We've seen massive coverage on plastic pollution affecting every single part of our ocean, right the way down to the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of our ocean. 100,000 mammals and 1 million birds die every year from eating or getting tangled in ocean plastic. Millions of tons of plastic still enters the marine environment every single year. And if we do nothing, the amount of plastic in our ocean is set to treble by 2025. Now, I don't think there's any question that people around the world want this problem to be solved, but it requires a massive escalation of effort on all of our parts. This Blue Hope campaign will raise awareness on the scourge of ocean plastic pollution and the damage it causes to marine biodiversity, and it will encourage action to tackle it. Now, in the UK, we are getting our own house in order. We're putting the emphasis on making products that last and can be repaired or recycled. We want to design waste right out of the system. We've taken practical steps to eliminate what we don't need, from one of the world's toughest bans on microbeads and restrictions on the supply of plastic straws, buds and stirrers coming into force this October. Our 5p charge for plastic bags has seen 90% fewer bags sold by the main retailers, meaning fewer plastic bags on the beaches and the seafloor. And we've consulted on plans to extend those charges and will publish our response very soon. But we cannot tackle global ocean plastic pollution alone. And we want to help other countries leapfrog the mistakes that the developed nations have made in the past. Since 2018, we've committed up to £70 million to tackling plastic waste, working alongside friends like Rwanda and Samoa in the Commonwealth Clean Ocean Alliance. 34 out of 54 Commonwealth nations are committed to reducing ocean plastic pollution to help meet the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 14, Life Below Water. And I'm absolutely delighted that in recent weeks, this alliance has grown by 3 new members: the Maldives, Nigeria, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're funding global research and stopping plastic from entering the ocean in the first place too, encouraging recycling in the textile industry, supporting circular economies worldwide, and developing marine litter action plans through our Commonwealth Litter Programme. And we're supporting 165,000 young people through the UN Environment's Tide Turners Plastic Challenge badge, a West African hit gone global, inspiring a new generation of leaders to tackle plastics with their communities. And it's shocking that 2 billion people currently have no access to waste collection service. So we're working closely with the World Economic Forum to support the Global Plastic Action Partnership, mobilizing investment to avert plastic pollution from source to sea by 2025 by fast-tracking circular economy solutions. National plastic action partnerships have already launched in Ghana and in Indonesia. Sea-based sources of plastic pollution matter too. Ghost fishing gear can account for around 40 to 70% of marine litter by weight. So we're supporting communities around the world to take steps to prevent it being lost, abandoned, or discarded through the Global Ghost Gear Initiative. Working at scale brings results, and we cannot tackle climate change, help nature recover, or help the world's poorest people build sustainable, resilient livelihoods without supporting the health of our ocean. So as custodians of the 5th biggest marine estate in the world, we are leading the charge in protecting the ocean. We have protected an area almost twice the size of England around the UK, and we will do more. Our Blue Belt programme of marine protected areas around the overseas territories is on track to protect an area of ocean the size of India, from the biodiversity jewel of Ascension Island to the subantarctic wilderness of South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. We are backing mangrove restoration projects, helping vulnerable coastal communities in Madagascar, Indonesia, Latin America, and the Caribbean restore mangrove forests, protecting people from storm surges, storing carbon, and supporting fisheries. And a new £500 million investment in a new Blue Planet Fund will help countries protect marine resources from key anthropogenic threats like climate change, plastic pollution, and overfishing. But we share one global ocean, and we need a whole Earth effort. So I'm delighted that the UK Prime Minister has chosen to put nature at the heart of the UN Climate Change COP26, which the UK, in partnership with Italy, will host in Glasgow next year. We're working very closely with the Chinese, who will be hosting its biodiversity-focused sister CBD conference in Kunming. And I was thrilled that at the UN last year, our Prime Minister launched the Global Ocean Alliance in support of a new CBD target to protect at least 30% of the global ocean by 2030, including an ambitious outcome from the UN BBNJ agreement to establish an effective mechanism for designating marine protected areas in the high seas. The Global Ocean Alliance has continued to grow, and on World Ocean Day, I am so pleased to announce 7 new joiners today, taking the total to 20 countries. We all depend on our ocean, and we have a duty to act now on behalf of every generation who will also rely on a healthy ocean. So let us build on this positive start using Blue Hope to keep the dialogue flowing so we can roll out solutions for the long-term health of the ocean that we all share.
And that was a video message from the United Kingdom Minister of Environment and Pacific, Lord Zac Goldsmith. So it's good to see someone in the policy-making, decision-making level of power in the UK. And hopefully that would stir something in our own community here in Sabah, in Malaysia, to want to go even gung-ho, what's that in English? To go even more, I think, take braver steps, I would say. Take more serious steps when we talk about the environment and not leave it fearless. Yeah, be more courageous in the steps that we take in addressing, because plastic pollution, environmental pollution is not a new topic at all. But I feel like there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We still need to speak a lot about the issues to drive more people to join the bandwagon of saving and paying more attention to our environment. We talk a lot about plastic pollution, but there's also the Coral Triangle Day that we wanted to talk about, right? Which is part of the World Oceans Day. So, and explain, it will be good for you experts, especially, to explain and share with our viewers out there about why, maybe because maybe there's lack of care because we can't see the coral. We don't feel like it's affecting our life, the quality of our life directly. Yeah, maybe say something about that, Simon or Alison.
Yeah, let's hear from Simon.
Yeah, so the primary producer in the underwater world, particularly in the tropics, are the coral reefs. And because of the global warming, man-made effects from climate change, what it means is the sea temperatures are rising. And what happens when the sea temperatures rise, it means the environment is obviously changing such an effect. And corals, what a lot of people don't realize, that corals are actually a symbiotic relationship between little little sort of coral building animals and algae. And so the coral is a relationship between an algae, which gets the energy from the sun, and that's how it feeds that partnership. Now, what happens when the temperature rises by 2 or 3 degrees, which it has done recently, or just a small amount, what happens is it stresses that relationship and you have coral bleaching. So corals are basically spitting out their algae. It's getting too hot to handle, and that relationship is being compromised. So what you have is that whole level, all that foundation of the food chain, the primary producers, is totally compromised. So we've seen the Great Barrier Reef now, the largest coral reef system, the largest living system on the planet, being almost completely destroyed just very recently over the last few years, and indeed places like the Maldives and the Coral Triangle. Now, the Coral Triangle has done very well, again, because of the biodiversity and the resilience, because it has such an incredible biodiversity. It hasn't been as badly affected as a lot of other places, because you have so much mixing going on, so much nutrient upwelling, it's such a vibrant and such a kind of really busy. It does mean it's more resilient, but it also means that it's there's so much more at stake there. I mean, all of the reefs are really important. I'm not saying that the Great Barrier Reef isn't important. Of course, they're all incredibly important. But the coral reef, losing the coral reef, basically means it's a bit like on land. If you lose all the jungles and the primary producers of the food chain, so that the fields and the grasses, then obviously the larger animals won't have anything to feed on. So that's the big issue, is we've got the very environment of the water for the main life systems to start are actually being compromised, which means the whole food chain is being compromised. So Coral Triangle is just the most biodiverse place on the planet, which is where we are. And so that is Coral Triangle Day, followed immediately after World Ocean Day on the 8th and the 9th, respectively. And so again, this year, we'll be championing the Coral Triangle. But I think we should move on back to the youth and back to the messaging. And so one of the things, maybe I'll pass back to you, Alison, just to explain the next beat, which is obviously when we got Joe Ruxton over here, we made some visits to some leading schools, which was very empowering, and we've got a video. But over to you, Alison, just to kind of talk a bit more about that.
Thank you, Simon. And yes, Joe Ruxton, who was the first person to talk about plastic in the ocean and raise everyone's awareness about plastic in the ocean. And she has since founded a Plastic Ocean UK, which is now rebranded Ocean Generation. And her charity is all about raising awareness with the youth and having the youth become the eco warriors and push for action, as Monica has mentioned. It's action that's now needed. And Jo, when she was in KL, had the opportunity to go to Tenby Setia Eco Park School, and we took a video.
If we could play that video, that would be great. Thank you.
Today I've been to Tenby School and had a presentation to about 100 students, and I think Eco Warrior is the best way to describe them. Plastic doesn't break down. Plastic was designed not to break down, and yet we make items that we use once and then we throw them away, and nobody asks, where is away? They knew so much about the topic already, but I was able to give them a little bit more and open their eyes to what's going on, not just in Malaysia, but out in the ocean as well. And I see the oceans as the ultimate casualty of this crazy addiction that we have to single-use plastic. There was one character that we filmed that never made it into the final film. You know when you open a bottle, a juice bottle, you got it, there's still a ring around it. So she was a hatchling, she was a tiny turtle in the Mississippi River. And she swam into it and it got stuck. And can you imagine the pain that she must have gone through? They x-rayed her when she came in. There was no shell in the middle. She'd actually moved in two halves. We ended up our morning session with a panel where 6 of the students came forward and I set a discussion topic for them. And they then had a good think about it and came out with some fantastic comments.
I think that people need to learn that drinking from bottled water, even though you're recycling it, you're sending a signal to corporations that it's fine for them to keep doing it in plastic because they'll keep buying.
Yes. Don't underestimate your importance. I think that your generation and all of you here are the most important people on this planet.
And we're very pleased and delighted that Joe Ruxton was able to visit us today at our flagship school in KL, and it's a fantastic opportunity, I think, for our students to really impact their community.
I'm glad to be part of the Eco Initiative team so I can at least help raise awareness in my friends.
I would probably encourage people more to save our planet, as we only have one planet to live in.
I feel that every one of us can make changes to both the ways we impact the environment, because I think that although individually the efforts account for very little, collectively as a group we can achieve a lot.
It's a great opportunity from the British High Commission to work with Tenby Schools SEP, and it's something that we're very proud of, and we'd love to have Joe back again in the near future.
And that's to show that how importantly we need children's awareness more than we need our fellow adults' awareness, to be woken by the fact that our plastic pollution in the name of convenience is affecting our coral life, our ocean life, and therefore our entire ecosystem. I was informed by our admin here that we are running out of time and we have a couple more videos to play. I will let Simon or Alison or Monica to decide which videos would we like to share with our viewers for now.
If I can step in.
Yeah.
As I said, the UK government and our minister said that the environment is a key policy priority for the UK. And people are concerned about plastic pollution, but they don't necessarily realise it's not just the issues of plastic going into the oceans and being eaten by marine life and marine life dying and microplastics going into our food chain. Plastic is also a significant contributor to greenhouse gases and climate change. So we've got a double whammy in terms of plastics. And I think what Blue Hope is doing is coming up with action on the ground to try and help solve these problems, and also sharing the steps that we all have to take. We all have to change our lifestyles and live in a more green way going forward. And people won't necessarily do this unless they know about it. But we were fortunate with our Blue Hope World Children's Day to have a video message from the UK government's climate change ambassador for this region, who explained the association between plastics and climate change. Followed by a message from our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson.
Yeah, we've got a bit of time to run on, so there's a little bit of a buffer there, so we should be okay to play the video. So let's play both those videos together. The next two videos from the COP26 ambassador for Southeast Asia, and then Boris Johnson himself, the Prime Minister. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, my name's Ken O'Flaherty. I have the honour to be the UK's COP26 Regional Ambassador for the Asia Pacific region. I'm pleased to be here this afternoon to address this webinar organised by my colleagues in the British High Commission in Kuala Lumpur in partnership with WWF Malaysia. I'm very pleased to see such a great assembly of experts as speakers and panellists here today, and I'm sure this will allow a stimulating and well-informed session later. Ladies and gentlemen, 2021 will be a super year for both climate change and biodiversity. Leaders from across the world will travel to China and the UK next year to make progress at the COP15 Biodiversity and the COP26 Climate Conferences, two major conferences held within a 6-month interval. Delivering successful outcomes on nature is a top priority for the UK government and many other countries, including Malaysia, which is such a nature-rich country. We want these global events next year to mark a clear step forward in global efforts to protect nature in the widest context. We must meet our twin objectives of protecting biodiversity and tackling climate change, as well as lowering both our ecological and our carbon footprints. The world remains in the grip of COVID-19, which has dominated the attention of governments over the last 9 months. But it's now time to look forward to how we emerge from the pandemic through an inclusive, green and resilient recovery. We're now rightly focused on caring and curing, but in our response we also need to consider nature and its role in climate mitigation and resilience. Our collective recovery needs strong roots in a greener and more resilient global economy. Natural systems are on the front line of the fight against climate change. They're directly impacted by climate change, and they also provide us with vital tools to help us adapt to rising temperatures and to lock up and store carbon. Our land and ocean are under threat from climate change, but they can also contribute to the solutions. And that's why nature-based solutions is a core theme of COP26. If we're to meet our commitments under the Paris Agreement, we clearly need a full-scale transition of our energy systems. And we also need a change in the way we use the land and the ocean. Agriculture, forestry and land use contribute 23% of global greenhouse gas emissions, but our land and coastal marine ecosystems could provide up to 1/3 of cost-effective ways to tackle climate change. Ecosystems are also under threat from climate change, impacting the well-being and the resilience of the hundreds of millions of people whose livelihoods depend on farming and fisheries. This risks undermining economic development and pushing further millions of people into food insecurity and poverty. In order to tackle these issues, we need a concerted global effort. The prize for doing so will be enormous. In economic terms, the benefits of a global transition to low-emission, sustainable land use and food systems could be huge, over $500 billion in business opportunities by 2030 and over $1 trillion in hidden costs for climate mitigation, resilience, food and nutrition security and economic development, and for the sustainability of the natural systems that underpin all this. Malaysia is the 12th most mega-diverse hotspot country in the world. It's home to some of the world's oldest tropical rainforests that are over 1 million years old. They extend from coastal plains to mountainous areas, including inland waters such as lakes and rivers. The Malayan tiger, Malayan tapir, orangutan, Borneo pygmy elephant and proboscis monkey are some globally endangered and also iconic species that occupy these terrestrial natural landscapes. The global community are awed by these living species that traverse your forests. Healthy forests and oceans are critical for sustaining life, eliminating poverty and promoting prosperity. Worldwide nature-based economic value is estimated at $125 trillion, according to WWF's Living Plant Index 2018. Nature-based solutions are also harnessing our energy needs via wind, sun, plant byproducts, wave and tidal movements. We need to amplify and scale up some of the nature-based solutions that we have innovated across the world, including in Malaysia. We need to build more good and impactful stories and not lose hope in nature providing the solutions we need to survive. So we ask our partners, you, to work with us.
to encourage enhanced and ambitious political commitment to adopting nature-based solutions in policies and in programmes, to commit to tangible actions to address climate change and biodiversity loss through a nature-based solutions action pledge, building on the Nature-Based Solutions Manifesto launched at the UN Climate Action Summit in 2019. To sign up to the COP26 Just Rural Transition campaign, or take specific actions to cut agricultural emissions and reduce the impact of agriculture on carbon-rich ecosystems, such as tropical forests, whilst investing in sustainable production and building new markets for sustainably grown produce. To scale up private and public financial support for nature-based solutions that support livelihoods, strengthen resilience, and deliver carbon savings. And to champion and drive forward the protection of marine ecosystems to improve the ocean's resilience and support the restoration of critical habitats such as coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds. A transition towards a more sustainable food system and a renewed and scaled up effort to protect and restore ecosystems will require a whole of society effort. This needs to include the national government, local authorities, communities, farmers, scientists, conservationists, business and young people. The UK is ready to be bold and ambitious in partnership with all of you ahead of what we hope will be a pivotal COP15 in Kunming, China, and COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland. Thank you all very much for your support and for your engagement. My colleagues and I look forward to working with you all in the months ahead. Thank you.
And I believe we have another video from the Prime Minister himself, yeah?
We're in danger of killing our seas. We're warming them up, though we're making them more acidic, and every day we're filling them with thousands of tons of turtle-choking, dolphin-poisoning plastic that is turning our oceans into vast floating rubbish dumps. That's why I'm delighted that the United Kingdom has now protected more than 4.3 million square kilometres of the world's ocean. That's an area equivalent to the size of India and 17 times the size of the UK. The British Overseas Territory of Tristan da Cunha, the world's most remote human settlement, has got us over the target, announcing a new marine protection zone this week to close more than 90% of its waters to harmful human activity. We can be proud of the leading role the UK is playing, but we need collective global action now if we're to save species such as the blue whale and the hawksbill sea turtle for future generations. I'm calling on other nations to join us in our ambition to protect 30% of the world's ocean by 2030. This is alongside the commitment which I announced at the UN General Assembly this year to protect 30% of the UK's land by 2030. Next year, Britain, along with our partner Italy, hosts the UN Climate Change Conference in Glasgow. We have a real chance to push for urgent action on climate change, to protect our planet and all its fantastic biodiversity on land and sea. We must make this a reality if we are to bequeath a world that is every bit as wonderful and magnificent as the one we inherited.
Beautiful, and what an important reminder for everyone.
Can you imagine if we Sabah are part of the mission officially and was announced globally? Can you imagine that?
It should have happened 10 years ago.
No, it's not too late.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late. So we are in the right stage, right path with all our international support. Yeah, just can't wait to be announced out there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Not too late. The time is now.
Yeah, it's not too late.
And
Alison is there.
Yeah, I mentioned about the language barrier, right? So in order for us to get especially our local people to be more fearless in our approach to get them excited to want to play their part, our part, in protecting the environment better. I believe that Blue Hope also made an effort to make materials, to create and produce materials that are in Bahasa Malaysia.
Sure.
Oh yeah, not only Bahasa Malaysia. I would like to, sorry Simon, to
All right.
jump in a bit. Yeah, we actually engage 6 local influencer, social media influencer, Sabahan, to be part of our mission and the presenter to connect with all our local Sabahan around Borneo real soon. Yeah, so I'm sure there's no more language barrier. We speak our own language. We understand our own language, no matter any part around Sabah. Real soon. Yeah, finger crossed. That's why I say I can't wait to get out there and speak. Yeah.
Okay. What we'll do is we're running out of time. We're going to play.
Let's watch the next video.
Two more videos just from 2 local faces. Malaysia's Maya Karin, who has been supporting us from day one, and she's joining us later today with Joe Ruxton for Our Water of Life. But we'll just we'll hear what she has to say shortly. And also Junior Elstall, Sabahan Malaysian footballer who's just come back home, and he's now back in Asia playing football, and he's very excited about getting involved in Blue Hope. So we'll play both of those videos, and then I think we pass back to Alison for a wrap up, and we'll have a couple of minutes wrap up between us, and we'll move on. Okay, if we could play the next 2 videos, please. Thanks.
Hi Simon and team, I am really excited that we're finally launching Plastic Ocean series with the legendary Sir David Attenborough on World Children's Day. It is high time that Malaysian children understand the perils of plastic and understand how to live sustainably. Once again, well done guys for tackling the issue of plastic head on, and all the best to you for Sabah Plastic Neutral. I can't wait to go diving with you in Sipadan, and it'll happen one day. One day I'll get over there to Sabah. So in the meantime, take care, good luck, all the best, and lots of love.
And then we go to Junior, who just arrived back in Asia. The next video.
Hi Simon and Team Blue Hope. I'm very excited to be part of the project that you're launching tomorrow on World Children's Day. The living world can't operate without a healthy ocean, and neither can we. As the oceans start to heat up and get more acidic, we start to see more and more coral reefs dying around us. So I'm very excited to learn more about what's happening around us on the planet we live on, launching the Plastic Oceans UK series with the legendary Sir David Attenborough and Maya Karin in Malaysia to thousands of kids in Malaysia. It all starts here with the youth, and I think it's time for Malaysia to realise the perils of plastic and to try learn to live more sustainable. I can't wait to be part of such a big project to learn more about the oceans around us. I know these are the first steps that Sabah can really take to transform their natural beauty and habitat they have around them. I've been away from Malaysia for 2 years, and I can't wait to go back to Sabah and hopefully dive with you guys soon in Sipadan Island. So thank you very much for letting me be part of this journey. I look forward to it, and guys, please like, share, subscribe to anything that you see that Blue Hope 2020 are doing in the campaign. Thank you very much.
There we go. Alison, I'm going to pass straight to you. We've got about 2 minutes.
Just to say that just seeing a few of those videos gives a glimpse of the amount of work that's happened in just over a year, and the projects that Blue Hope are going to be announcing today, which will deliver action on the ground. You know, we've had the awareness, we've done the talking, and now there's going to be action on the ground. Is really, really positive news. And just also to say, Amy, that with Blue Hope on World Children's Day, we were also fortunate to launch a series of 3 plastic awareness films produced by now Ocean Generation with Joe Ruxton in Bahasa Malaysia with the voiceover talents of Maya Karin. And we also, I think Joe mentioned the Plastic Detectives homeschooling sheet. That has also been produced in Tamil, Mandarin, and Bahasa Malaysia, and I think some other languages. So we are looking to try and get the message out to everyone far and wide across the world. And with a bit more support, we can do it in even more languages. But it's, as I said, this has been one positive that's come out of this COVID pandemic. Blue Hope has gone from being a marketing campaign to actually being a
real platform
in being born out of Sabah, which is arguably one of the most biodiverse parts of the world, both in green and blue. And the British High Commission have been very happy to support that journey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Monica, 1 minute. We're going to be kicked off this this stage for other speakers.
Yeah.
This is actually this is I was thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Simon, for approaching me and make me trust and Blue Hope a platform internationally and globally. So to be honest, I just can't wait to share with everyone around the world about for the next few sessions that we're gonna host. And today is a big day for Sabah. We are virtually launched on the Sabah Plastic Neutral, and stay tuned for the session. And welcome to everyone to come on board, step up and come and help us. We are in this together. We need you. We can't do it alone. We need all Sabahan. We need all. We need more people, more leader, more voice, more action, and we can tackle the problem together and faster. We don't have to wait until 2030. Maybe in 5 years' time, we can solve the problem. Yeah, that's all from me. I just can't wait to roll on the next session. Thank you.
All right. And any last words, Simon?
Well, I can only reiterate, Monica, Sabah is where it all begins. It has the value here already. We might have lost the rhino, but we've got more to save than a lot of other parts of the planet, and that's the value that we need to bring to the fore. And then we need to connect that value to communities, and that's the ambition over the next few years, is to bring that connectivity to the communities. And so it becomes a bit of an equalizer, but at the same time as listening to Sabah's environment and both the green and the blue. So it really is a big spotlight this for Sabah moving forwards, an opportunity for Sabah to lead the way, and with the world watching, supporting and following. So very exciting times ahead, and you'll hear more about it later today with the other sessions we've got coming. So please do stay tuned, stay with us, and we'll see you again later. Thanks so much, Alison, again.
Thank you, Alison.
And the British High Commission, of course. Amy, wonderful to have you with us, starting this journey. Let's do this. Ultimate Sabah story about to begin. It all starts today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Monica.
Thank you for all the viewers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and see you again in the next couple of slots.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
And I'm going to pass it back to Nora.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so much, Alison, Simon, and also Monica. Herewith, thank you for all the sharing of what Blue Hope has done throughout the year, and it has been an impactful and a meaningful one, definitely. Herewith, I'd just like to recap that the next session that's happening at 11:30 a.m. would be called Fish Bomb Free Sabah, and we look forward to seeing everyone to stay on and just listen to that cause. Herewith, thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.